Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I made over a $3 thrift store Christmas tree. It was all wrapped up in this brown box. It was taped up. I didn't get to see it before I bought it, but once I bought it, I found out it was a 7-foot tree, which was nice, but it was very sparse. It wasn't super full, and the worst part for me was it had this ugly brown part at the ends of each of the branches. And because it wasn't very full, when you'd put the branches down, you would see that awful brown part. And on top of that, all the branches were like this aqua color and green mixed in together with a little bit of brown. From far away, it didn't look so bad, but close up, it looked really bad in my eyes. So I didn't know what to do. I thought about redonating it to a different thrift store. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to try something. I've never heard of anybody spray painting their Christmas tree, but I was going to try it. I figured, what can I lose? It's only $3 for the Christmas tree. I have several other Christmas trees, so why don't I try and give this one a makeover, and let's see what happens. So as you can see, I started out lifting the branches up and trying to really spray that inner part where the brown was really good. That was my main focus, was let's start there, make sure all that gets really covered good. And then I work my way out on the branches. Now, one thing I did realize is that it works best when you really kind of fluff your branches first, because that way it gives the paint an opportunity to get all the way back in there and not just on the very tips of your branches. This worked really amazing. I was surprised myself. I don't know about you guys. Have you ever heard of anybody who had spray painted a Christmas tree before? I hadn't. And the few people I had told or asked about it just looked at me like I was crazy. And personally, I thought I was too when I had this idea. But I went off to Walmart. I didn't know what kind of paint to buy. I wasn't sure what color to get. I had no idea what I was going to do. But I went to Walmart and I grabbed 4 cans of spray paint. I had no idea if 4 cans of spray paint would be enough to paint a 7-foot Christmas tree, but I figured I would try it out. The biggest thing I learned is, one, make sure you totally fluff your branches. The more they're fluffed, the better the paint can get all the way down, right to the stem and right into the very bottom of the branches. The other thing is, make sure you wear a face mask, because the fumes from the paint, they're pretty strong. Definitely do this outside where it's well ventilated, and then wear that face mask. The day I did this, it was kind of windy, so I had a lot of that paint spraying back at me. So I was very grateful to have that mask on because of how strong the fumes were. You can see that the paint actually really adhered nice to the tree. I just did a light coating. I didn't do super heavy in one spot, and I just kind of misted it over everything, and it turned out looking really nice. It kind of gave that tree that early morning winter look where everything is nice and frosted and looks so pretty early in the morning. And I thought that looked great. You can see I just kind of move my arm back and forth gently just to give it a nice even spray, and it dries amazingly quick. I mean, almost as soon as I sprayed it on, it was dried, being outside and with a little bit of wind happening, and because it was such a light coat. Look as I go in for a close-up here. Doesn't that look pretty? Doesn't that look like that really crisp morning when everything is just frozen over? Now make sure that you get really in close to the base. of your tree if you have this ugly brown part on your tree like I do. You can see I got in there. I even got the main stem of the tree and everything. It covered up that funky aqua color that they had on all the branches. It covered that up really nice. It made it look 1,000 times better. Is this something that you would actually consider doing to an old Christmas tree to give it a fresh new look? I mean, I've looked, if you've watched any of my other videos, my Shop With Me videos, you'll see that I've been looking at Christmas trees for a while now. But they are so expensive, and I just really couldn't justify the cost of a new Christmas tree this year when I already have several Christmas trees. And this one here was just to have another one to put in my basement. It's not even the only one I put in the basement, but I just wanted one more. And so I thought, if I try this and it doesn't turn out, it's not a big deal. It's not a huge investment. And I was looking at a new one anyway. But after doing this, I thought it turned out really great. It can get me through a few more years without having to go and have the expense of another new one. And so I really like this tree. I really thought it turned out good. The one thing I do wish I would have done was I wish I would have invested in the spray can spray grip, which is a thing that fits over the top of the can to make it easier to just squeeze your can by this grip thing, and it sprays it a lot better, because it took me a good half hour to completely spray paint this tree, the 7-foot tree. And by the end of that half hour, holding my finger down on the spray nozzle, it was painful after a half an hour. You can tell by the end of the video, I'm actually not even using my finger. I'm using my thumb to try and hold it down to do the finishing touches on it. Now, the paint only ended up costing me, I think it was $3.86 or 89 cents a can. And I did buy 4 cans, but I didn't use all 4 cans. It only ended up taking me 3 cans to spray the whole entire tree. I used the first 2 cans to spray everything really good, and then I used that last can anywhere that I saw places that needed touch up. I did it then. You can see here I used the Rust-Oleum American Accent with the paint and primer, and it bonds to plastic. I figured doing something that bonds to plastic is probably the best way to go with a Christmas tree. I left it outside to dry and just air out for probably a good 2 hours after I was done. I reboxed it back up in its box. I packed it back away for about a week and a half until I finally today dragged it out and put it up in the basement. And I wanted to see how it would pack and if it would end up sticking together. It didn't. It did just fine. Isn't it beautiful now that it's all done? It looks so pretty. What a great way to save money and to keep this tree out of a landfill or something, to upcycle it. I thought it was a great idea. What I did with some of my leftover paint, and I went and also got some Rust-Oleum glitter paint, is I took some branches that I had in the backyard and I went and I spray painted the silver on the branches on some of them, and I spray painted that last can of white paint that I bought for the Christmas tree. I spray painted that on some of the branches as well. And then I decided that once I got the tree all up and everything, I'm going to go ahead and tuck those branches into the tree and just hang some ornaments from them. And I thought it would just add a little bit of a different element. I've never done anything like that before either. And I just thought it'd be a neat way of using a few branches and using up the rest of that spray paint. Now, I will have to say that the branches did get kind of brittle after a couple weeks. And so I don't know that I'll get more than just this year out of using the branches, but I thought that they looked really pretty with that nice crisp white coat of paint on them and also that silvery glitter paint. Let me know in the comments below. Is this something that you would try on an old tree that you're thinking of getting rid of because you don't like it anymore? So, since doing this tree, I've decided to give myself a challenge to see how inexpensively I can decorate this tree and make it look really great. So, I have some Kirkland knockoff DIYs I have coming up really soon. So, stay tuned for that. I'm going to do some Dollar Tree DIYs for it and some inexpensive ornaments, but that I expect will make it look really great. You can see here that I'm opening the box back up after having it stored out in the garage for a few weeks, and you can see all the colors still on there. It didn't clump together, it wasn't stuck. And now I put it up in the basement and you can see what it looks like there. It looks really nice. If you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe and the bell so that the next time I upload a video, you'll be notified. Thanks for watching.